Should we do a
welcome to
celebratory
the
guest
Canada Guns
pop?
Talk Show, episode 100. This is Road to Bambi. We are your hosts, Crazy Nine and Adriel Hunting Gear Guy,
Heyo.
Garrett, and Crover. Everyone say hi.
There's
Hello.
Garrett.
Look at you taking the initiative.
There's Grover.
Episode 100. He's got to make a little bit of changes.
Not saying you're doing a bad job, Crover, but he
disrupt the
felt
power
he could
dynamic.
do a better job.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you've been usurped.
So actually, this is, I think, our first episode since the month of May. It's been quite a while.
And
There's been a lot of
absolutely
things.
nothing has happened.
Yeah, nothing has happened. There's totally no reason why I don't have a scope on this at all. There's nothing out of the ordinary is going on right now at all that we won't be talking about later. So either way,
I'm totally not showing off anything on screen right now. Not
there's
fucking
totally no dangerous, prohibited assault-style weapons that are only designed to kill the maximum number of people in the shortest amount of time being displayed on screen right now.
No.
Wink.
So, anyways, since we can't have anything fun anymore, this entire episode's going to be about hunting.
And from henceforth, we will only deal with hunting issues.
So, everyone's got to have a 30-06.
Oh my god! I can't believe you said that.
And that their 30-06 is the only gun you will ever need to hunt anything that moves, because the only animal that you ever hunt is deer.
Wait. What
Everyone on the internet.
about my grandpappy's 30-30?
No, that's that
I can't believe I didn't bring mine down.
30-30 isn't capable of killing anything. It stopped being capable of killing anything in about
True.
1960. So you need to get a 30-06, and your 30-30 is a dangerous assault weapon according to the Australian government.
That's true. Is
it lever action?
It's
Better
fast
not be
firing.
lever. Oh,
It's fast firing. You can't have that. Can't have that. Fires too fast.
Your gun's got a magazine. You can't have that either.
Oh fuck! You're right.
What about a tube magazine?
uh-oh.
It's just a magazine with a different name.
Shut up! Don't give him ideas.
I think it gets a
ideas,
pass
man.
because it's not a clipazine.
Oh, that's right. It's a clip. Clips are okay. Magazines are not. So everything now henceforth will be called a clip scene. Oh, speaking about hunting guns and tubes, this is gonna be something that I'm gonna use for hunting winged animals.
You
Mine
mean
is
that dangerous, prohibited, overboard assault weapon?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
fuck.
prohibited
You know what?
device you got.
You're right. Look at that. That sure as shit looks like a choke to me.
I know.
Oh, external.
This
I
is
like
what
it.
this is what you need for goose hunting now.
That's right.
Because it's got a
No
fixed,
choke, fixed barrel.
Yep.
So perfectly legal. The color scheme really blends in with the natural habitat.
Except according to RV Hasselwander, the fact that it can be easily converted to something that is prohibited might also make it prohibited.
In the future, right now, it's still good.
Everything like it prohibited. Remember, their goal is disarmament. Now, before we dwell too deeply into this
So
bullshit,
Crover, I don't think your headset mic's working.
oh, you think? Fucking hell. That's what happens when we just go ahead and say, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Well, that's how you gotta sort it out.
Communications microphone. Check.
There it is.
No.
No?
It would go like this.
Oh, he sounded good for a second there.
Oh,
Hey, Garrett, can you move your mic just a bit to the side? Your mouth?
Like that?
Perfect. Yeah.
now lick it. Lick it. Okay, how about now?
Yes, now you got the right one. Yeah.
Okay.
Mucho better. Bueno.
Mucho better.
bueno.
So yes, why are we doing a hunting related show? Well, it is not just all for shits and gigs, but we'll get into that momentarily. Now, it's been like a month and a half since we actually had a show. Has anybody done anything non-illegal gun related?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Lots of stuff.
How about you, Crazy?
Yeah, so I went shooting on Crown Land for the first time. From a Discord server. And it got cut short by paranoia about the threat of a conservation officer showing up.
Pussy.
So We went to some fucking Crown Land behind a dump in the middle of some fucking place up somewhere in like the fucking like. If I told you it's an '80s Land Cruiser, you'd probably already be able to imagine this ghetto ass fucking vehicle that we drove in there with. So
Sounds
we're
like
out
your
there
first
just
truck.
shooting some things. There's some other dudes shooting some other things, and it's right near an ATV trail. So there's a bunch of ATVs driving by. Well, at one point, these ATVs guys drive by real fucking loud, and we can hear them yelling, "Oh, your pellets are hitting our camp." To which we're all just kind of like, that sounds like a bullshit. And then they say, Greg, the CO in this area, well, we called him and he's on his way over here to check things out. And immediately I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. If this Greg person is real, I do not want to be dealing with him. So we started working towards packing up, and also it started raining a bit. But one of the guys we were shooting with went over and talked to the other group of people, and they're like, yeah, those guys were all probably drunk. We have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Drunk ATVers? No.
No.
How far was
Yeah,
there?
so-
So were you shooting clays, and how far was their camp?
The other guys were shooting clays, but like based on the distances they had, there's no fucking way in hell any of the shot was hitting any fucking camp.
Yeah, you can like a number 7.5 or 8. Like you can go 100 yards with it. Kind of sounds like rain, but
Yeah.
It's not gonna like it. It
No,
feels like sand actually.
There was apparently like a fucking like 300.
You've
to
tested
500
that there?
I may have,
Adriel
yeah.
may have ranged it out. Okay, at
I
100
might have.
yards. let
Okay,
me have
so
it.
like if you're duck hunting or if you're dove hunting, and you're on a large enough plot of land, like you'll catch some pellets. And 7.5 and 8 is made because it doesn't do anything past like 20 yards, 50 yards. I bet you it's eye safe at 50 yards. Bet you can be like this, just
so-
looking
so
straight
I'm
into
gonna-
it.
Canada
I'm
Guns
going to tell
live
you a very
testing
small aside
next
right
episode.
now. From my early days of dealing with guns, we were out in Crown Land and we were shooting shit with a shotgun. And the shit that we were shooting was a VCR because somebody was killing their VCR. So my buddies were shooting the
Okay,
VCR way
brother.
the fuck over there, and I walked around way, way, way away from where they were shooting. Kinda, if you were to think, if we were like maybe 50 meters apart, and I walked up to where the VCR was directly parallel. And I, as I was moving around some shit, caught a pellet right on my lip that ricocheted off the VCR that was 50 meters away from me. And I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't be standing in the splash zone.
So yeah, what at my range, one of their trap stations actually has a line of fire that shoots towards the rifle ranges and the pistol ranges. So you can actually see the orange roof of a building from one of the from like the 25-meter range from the trap station, and clays get thrown in that direction. And I've shot there and have never been hit by pellets coming from the trap station, so it does not go very far at all.
Yeah, birdshot's only lethal to winged dinosaurs of very small stature,
Yeah, so
up to
these
very,
guys
very
were-
close ranges.
These guys were fucking out to lunch or something, but it was just kind of like I did not want to deal with whatever CO may or may not have showed up. He didn't show up by the time we left. It was like an hour and a half later still, but yeah, it was fun. I got to shoot a K-43. I got to shoot a G-36, an SL-8 that had no fucking sights on it.
Oh, did Buddy just buy it and didn't know?
I know Buddy's had it for a fucking while, but I don't know what the fuck he did with his sights. He probably took it off to do stupid shit with his G36. If you were on Discord, you would have seen this guy posting stupid pictures of shit duct taped to his G36 handguard. But
So it
yeah,
was
that
like,
was
so it
fun.
was an SL8 conversion to G36.
No. He's got an actual G, like it was made G36.
Oh,
Like,
must
it
have been
was
one of those. When they're like 20 that tactical import brought in like last winter or something like that.
This guy has been trying to get me to buy in on like a bunch of G36s. He's importing like receivers
I
from
know what you're talking
Germany.
about then, yeah.
Like, so he probably imported the receiver from Germany through fuck knows what other European country to get this thing in. But he's got an actual G36. He also
A semi-auto one, I hope.
Yes, it is semi-automatic. No, we're not going. There's no E setting on it. Actually, I don't think they would even mark that.
No,
It's just a
full
lot of-
auto.
So yeah, we had fun doing that, and then I got out to the range. Silverdale finally opened back up again, but they actually have a booking system. You actually have to book a slot on the range because of COVID, so they can maintain their social distancing and limit the number of people on the property. You have to book a slot to fucking shoot, and the 200-yard range is still closed. That's been closed since last November when those retards got the range closed down. So I finally did manage to get out and shoot. I was shooting some 357s out of my revolver and got some pretty bad fucking like carbon flake kicking back off of me. I find it happens a fair bit on the 4 1/4 inch ones, because when I had a 6-inch Ruger, I never got any fucking backsplash off of the thing. But when I got the 4.2-inch Smith & Wesson, 327s will kick a lot of shit back at me. And I was practicing holster with the revolver and got some right under my eye, and it was just one of those situations of it's time to put this down for the day.
What the hell are you talking about with carbon flaking?
Like it's not spalling, because it's not like fucking, it's not metal shavings coming back. It's chunks of carbon being launched like back and hitting me in the arms and the face and shit.
Is it coming off the cylinder gap?
I don't think so. I actually think it's coming from the barrel, because when I had a 6-inch Ruger, it didn't do this. And it doesn't do this with 38s. It only does this with 357s. So that's why I'm not sure why in the fuck it's doing this, but
Coming out too fast, too furious.
And then I was getting shit kicked off of another dude who was there with a prohib, like a 3-inch fucking 327, and he was shooting like more than 6 feet away from me to maintain social distancing, and I was getting hit by shit coming off of his revolver too. So I don't know, but yeah. So I was doing that. I shot my Bursa a whole bunch just to get rid of some really shitty Barnaul ammo, and then I was doing like just holster and mag change drills with my SIG. Got my dad added to my membership at the range, so now he can come down with me too. And I finally got that motorcycle I'd been talking about buying for the last ever. So I got a 2019 Kawasaki Z400 in red, and I really like it, and it's definitely better than my last bike, and it's quite fun.
Did you put a gun rack on it?
No, I have not put a gun rack on it.
Did you take the
no, I have
muffler off and put like some eBay special on there?
No, because I'm not some dumb squid.
No, GP Moto. Get the
The
Dan
bike
Moto. Dan
The
Moto.
bike doesn't need to be any louder than it already is. I'm not going to do that.
Loud pipes save lives.
No, they don't.
I don't own bikes, and I know you're wrong.
It is actually against the Ontario Highway Traffic Act to straight pipe your bike. So
I don't
But
think
that-
I've
I mean,
owned.
in the
motorcycle
words
that
of
hasn't
somebody
been
far
straight
wiser than me, it's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah, twist the wrist, bud.
yeah, but no, when your bike fucking sounds louder than a goddamn jet engine, it's pretty fucking obvious.
See,
Yeah.
as I was told by somebody that rode a lot of crotch rockets, if any porky gets on your ass, you drop a gear and you rev, and then they know they're not going to catch you.
See, that doesn't work when my bike's engine is like barely
don't know
bigger than
that.
a lawnmower.
They don't know that.
Your bike's got what, 50 horsepower?
Yeah,
40-something.
probably 40
So,
something.
like,
It's a
my
400
my
cc.
sport bike from the 90s had 86. My sport bike from 86 had like 56 horsepower.
GPZ 750 or what?
No, a 600. What was it? Yamaha FZ 600.
Oh, brutal.
So you've got some power. Maybe not
Yeah.
enough to run from the police. Anyway,
No,
probably not related to guns either.
I've seen
people
max
have
speed
ran from the
videos of this
police on-
thing. It
yeah,
gets
250s.
185 as the max speed on this thing. So
That's lots.
wait,
Drop it down
wait,
to-
sir. How would you know that, sir?
I watch YouTube videos. I have not gone 185 kilometers an hour on this
The
motorcycle.
lamest possible answer.
What's the speedometer have on it? You paid for the whole speedometer. You got to use
You
the
gotta
whole
I mean, that's what I
speedometer.
feel like with the tachometer right now, because the stupid fucking break-in period, because it's a brand new bike, had 0 kilometers on it when I picked it up, which I've never seen on a vehicle before. It was
They
amazing.
Put it together in a little crate.
Yeah, they do. I didn't know that until I looked it up, but it's amazing. But like, they have the fucking break-in period. Don't go more than this many RPM, and I'm like, bitch, I
No.
paid for the whole fucking tack. I want to use the whole tack.
You got to break it in how you plan to drive it. So start it up let it warm up 5 seconds, and then hang it off the rem limiter. That's the best way to break it in.
I mean, now that I've passed the initial portion of the break-in, it's like they wanted you to stay below 4K revs, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this into advisement, but not as a hard rule.
Yeah.
But the next one was 6K revs, which is pretty much when the bike starts shaking a bit too much. Like it's not shaking; it's like you feel the vibration in your feet, and it's not really comfortable. So
More
I
revs.
mean,
They all
Now
have
where I
like
was gonna
nodes.
sit anyways.
They have nodes where like at this RPM it's uncomfortable. Higher than that or lower than that, it's usually fine.
yeah.
Valve float is your true rev limit. So,
The red thing at the top where it goes bap 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 bap.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to 15K, and I'm sure that it goes to 15K.
Well, hang it out.
I haven't quite pushed it past 10 because it's not advisable right now. In case anyone from Kawasaki's warranty department is watching, they never will. But
Nobody
Otherwise-
watches this. Like, there's 3 RCMP people watching.
There's-
That's it.
exactly. But
CSIS.
I did find out that
Actually,
third
it's 3
gear will get,
RCMP and 1 CSIS guy because he's bored.
Yeah.
I did find out that third gear will get me to highway speeds, which was nice to find out on a bike that's got 6 of them.
Yeah. Well, just wait till you get on your first leader bike, and it's like, oh, first gear breaks every posted speed limit.
Yeah, I got a buddy who's got a leader bike down in Michigan. He's like, yeah, I can go 60 miles an hour in first gear, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's heavy. Okay.
Anyway, that's pretty much what I did for guns. I did some holster practice and shit with my SIG.
Holster
I did some
practice while
magazine.
seated on your bike?
Yes. I'm
Well,
a
yeah, he's
cowboy
got to
on a
pretend to be
steel horse.
Keanu
I
Reeves.
ride. No, that was the holster
No,
practice.
he's got to
with my
practice
revolver.
that starting part of the Fast and the Furious. They roll up on the bikes and shoot the green car.
I mean, that's what I'd use my Scorpion for.
Exactly.
Right.
Practice that.
Okay, if you had to shoot at someone from Fast and the Furious from a bike, would you shoot left or right? I would shoot left. You need
Left.
that right hand for the
Yeah, but
I
accelerator.
got to be on the
yeah.
throttle.
Yep. Man, that's so if you want
Or
to be
stand up and get both hands so you can really brace.
Yeah, but if you're on a crotch rocket, as soon as you're off the gas, you're basically stopping. You need that right hand on the gas. So you could if you were a bad guy and you're hiring more bad guys and they're going to be motorcycle bad guys, you'd have to look for lefties. You need lefties to be able to shoot.
See, or you get one of those things that
Accuracy
lets
through
you
volume.
basically ghetto your own cruise
Accuracy through-
control by clipping a thing in place on your throttle.
Yeah, I guess that would work too. Yeah.
Just use a little bit of spit and Gorilla Glue. You're good to go.
Or you
With
just
the-
fly by in front of them and then
Turn
spin around.
Yeah.
And then let them have it because you're slowing down. Bike's nice and stable. You can really put the rounds where you need to.
Yeah.
But
And now we're officially on another list. Garrett.
yeah, even more lists.
Even
Great.
more lists.
Um,
Garrett, have you done anything gun related?
Well, this was too cheap not to buy, so I bought it.
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
Oh, is that $110 fucking thing from SFRC?
Yeah, it was like $141 shipped.
Fuck. That's
Takes
like
jokes.
That's old school
That means
Norenko.
it's prohibited.
No, it's not.
Yeah. He said
It's
so.
it's a 12 gauge.
No, he said
No.
it's not.
No, it's not prohibited.
Wait, no. I seem to recall somebody. This,
I don't have a caliper, so I can't measure it. So it's not prohibited.
I seem to recall someone
Brad.
Trump-esque.
Was it Brad?
Some Trump-esque Twitter user has
Yeah, I saw it on
decreed that
Twitter,
their
so it must
tweets
be
are
right.
law.
Yeah,
Like, right? I saw
that's-
it on Twitter.
I've got
Therefore,
the
it's
tweet printed out that says I'm okay.
It's
So-
true.
This
Yeah.
is from
True.
your boss. This is his Twitter. Better listen.
Yeah.
Listen up, bucko.
Listen here, Porky.
Yeah, that works just perfect, right? My favorite thing is to cock it back. You squeeze when it's broke open. If you just squeeze that, it resets the trigger, which is neat.
You know why that is? It's because break action shotguns, the cocking lever is part of the lock. So when you close it, the lock gets pushed back, resets the internal hammer, and you can achieve the same result in that one by finagling with that little hook, which is just the external portion of the lock.
Yeah.
And that sounded really fucking nerdy. So here's a few extra words. Fuck you.
Well, you know what? It was so cheap, so I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." So I'm just gonna shoot slugs through it with increasingly tightened chokes until it becomes accurate.
Well, if I had more space in my safe, I would have bought one of them too. But if I had
Dude,
more
you
space
don't
in
need
my safe,
space
I'd
in
have
your
bought a lot of
safe.
irresponsible
Just
things.
put that under your
Hey,
bed.
look at.
Like,
If
stuff it in the pillowcase.
Look
Pretty
at-
small.
If I had no one to be accountable
I can
to in this
appendix
property,
carry
then
this bad boy. You good?
you
Right?
actually have no idea how many times I've looked at small guns like that and wondered, I wonder if this will fit in my glove box in my car.
You know what? Maybe in my
not in
truck.
the glove,
or
not in the glove
not in
box,
In your
car.
pants.
but no, not in the glove box, but definitely under your spare or above it.
I mean, yeah, but it's easy to get something that fits under the
I wanna-
spare. want
I
something that
want to
fits in
be
the
able
glove box.
to get what happens if a bear attacks me while I'm changing my tire, and I haven't got the spare tire out yet.
Fuck, you're right. Then you need to stuff it into the exhaust.
No. I need to just mount it onto the door handle, right?
Oh.
So I can just, as I open the door, it's right there.
No, you need to make it the door handle.
No, you hollow out a cavity in the door so that, like a Rolls Royce umbrella, you can just pull the shotgun out of your door.
Oh.
That's not a bad idea. That I like the most.
Yeah.
So, grouse gun?
No.
I mean, if you want to
What's the weight
obliterate
on it?
grouse,
What?
What's the weight on it?
I
that's
would
got to be like
say
a 4-pound gown.
it's probably 5
5?
pounds. It's pretty heavy. Like
That's
there's a
surprising.
lot of meat in the receiver.
Mm,
Where
Is
it's
it a
heavy.
solid plastic stock or a hollow one?
Hollow.
that's
Hollow.
Maybe hollow.
hollow.
It feels nice. I haven't shot it yet, but I'm gonna just go pound slugs. So I think I'm gonna shoot a deer with it this year.
Oh, nice.
Just walk right up to it.
Yeah, like this. What's up?
Hey, it
fucko?
is a hunting. It is a
Pop
hunting
that
show.
deer Toronto style.
It is a hunt. It is a hunting show now. It's not.
Yeah. Single shot. You only need one, right?
That's right.
Or maybe I'll shoot a Canada goose with it just for
At the golf course.
funsies. Yeah.
Just a second, let me pull out my 12 wood.
It's a 12p. It's plastic. It's a 12p.
12p.
Yeah.
It's perfect for this kind of shot.
I need my pitching wedge here. Let's hold on. It provides adequate clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, this is the only thing gun related. I was actually like inches away from buying a Duria, and then, well,
Good thing.
yeah,
Good.
well, you know,
Yeah.
now I'm looking at one of those bull pups there that they have. What are those? So $700 ones?
Yeah, Tactical
12
Imports
gauge?
has them. I got one over here.
Yeah. Yeah. How are they?
Mags.
Did you not watch the review, sir? Sir, you haven't watched the review on YouTube?
No, I've been too busy fixing my boat.
Oh.
My gun rack, it turns out, doesn't hold enough guns on my boat. It's a little unstable during rough seas, but it needs to hold more guns. So
It needs to
modified
hold,
it.
No. It needs to hold all your guns. See, like that cabinet right behind you
Yeah,
needs
that
to be
cabinet,
on
I'm-
the boat.
looking away to mount the cabinet to the boat.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. I mean, it's the only safe way to transport them.
Well, absolutely. Especially with a clear cover on the front.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
I feel like if SCTV or like Air Force was still around, seeing all the jokes about fucking boating accidents and guns, that there'd be some skit about someone with a gun rack, a gun cabinet like that in a canoe on some fucking lake.
Oh, you just wait. Wait till stuff actually. I've got memes in the works. There's-
You heard it here, folks. We got
Is-
memes in the works.
Is it going to be as
Oh.
good as that one scuba diving meme with the 1022 mags?
Oh, fuck, that was good.
no. Wakeboarding plus rifle cases.
Why not wakeboarding on rifle cases?
Well, just don't ruin the surprise for everyone, you asshole. Come on. Jeez, now I have to redo the whole fucking plan.
Or why don't you just ski on them? You know, just like split it down the middle and then stick a foot on each.
Well, how I got to drop a ski though? How am I supposed to do slalom if I got two on?
You've
Come on, man.
already gone way into terminology that I'm not familiar with. That's how
That's
much
where you
of
do
a
the one
ski-
ski and go like this around the balls.
Oh, fancy. That's
Yeah.
I've never skied in my life.
There's ski things that involve just using one. I thought that's
Yes.
snowboarding.
No. You
We're
damn
on-
millennials and your
crazy,
internet.
crazy. We are on culture swine.
Yeah.
It's like
Jeez.
hockey. I don't know how the fuck to hockey.
I don't.
Well, COVID kept that from you, so you'll have lots of time to learn this summer about hockey.
I don't
Summer's
sport.
not the season of hocky.
Oh, it absolutely
It
is
will
this
be
year.
this year.
That's right.
Las Vegas hub city #1.
Words.
Neat.
Adriel, guns.
Yeah. Yeah, I did some gun stuff. Just the other day, I got a bunch of this ammo in.
Nice.
This is Federal Aluminum 115. It's cheap.
Aluminum.
This is a light box. This is 200 rounds. So, like for 3-gun and that kind of thing, 200 rounds, as long as your pistol mags are loaded up, 200 rounds is fine. So, this is like, oh, I'm going to go to a match. Boop. Drop that box in. Good enough for the match, right? They come in. Oh, let's turn around.
4 things 50. Yep.
Yep. And they're just like it's a lightweight bullet. It's a 115 grain, which is
Ooh.
lightweight. The case is lightweight, so it actually makes for a very light bunch of ammo that you can chuck in your ammo box.
That's
or
been
whatever.
the stuff that I've
I
been
did
shooting.
I had numerous extraction issues with those in my MP22, my high quality firearm.
NP22, huh? Like I've run it in my Shadow, and it ran fine. And I ran it in my.
I mean, you're comparing a Shadow to the quality of Norinco,
but like
you
the
can't...
Shadow's got like a match chamber, and it does not like as much ammo as my Glock does. For example, my Glock runs almost everything. My Shadow will not run something that's seated a little bit far out.
I've never had any issues
with that
any
stuff.
ammo in my
I've
Shadow.
put it in my Shadow. I put it in my Ruger PC carbine, my P226, and my P38, and it's had no problems in all of them.
Yeah.
I put 50 rounds through each of them just to make sure.
Yeah, I've put 1,000 rounds through my Shadow, and it's fine. It's cheap. So like there's cheaper. That Steel Max Tech is cheaper, but it is garbage. That stuff is just not good. You get a little bit of water in there, you get rained on or something like that, it fuses to itself. So your
Nice.
magazine will have a bunch of cases that are fused together, and
That sounds like fun.
Numerous other issues. The Max Tech stuff isn't good. Aluminum won't fuse to itself as badly, so that stuff's been fine.
What was it? I think I remember somebody talking about that ammunition on the subreddit, and then Spectre Ballistics just straight up came in and said, "We used to carry this, but it's shit ammo. We're not carrying it anymore."
Yep. Yeah, it's not good stuff.
That's the Mac Tech, not the Federal Aluminum.
It's a steel case, and it's got a step down inside, so it actually a reduced capacity inside, so that they can run a faster powder, right? But
I guess they just don't lacquer it, because I know like Barnall's all steel case, but they lacquer the shit out of it.
Yes.
Yep, it's not lacquered. It's some of them will do like a poly coating, that gray coating you see sometimes on Clon Block ammo. It's 762 by 39. That stuff won't corrode, but it's just a raw steel, unfinished exterior that will like fuse itself to itself if it gets wet, or for any other excuse. Anyways, I got a bunch of that stuff, so that's neat. And then I got this. This is a I don't really like the name, Winchester Wildcat. I don't like the name because Winchester Wildcat ammo is awful. It's just awful
The
stuff.
worst 22 ammunition I've ever used.
Yeah. So I got this because it's kind of like a 1022, but not a 1022. So 1022 has a couple things that I would like improved. One is the magazines on the 1022 don't really drop free, and the mag release is kind of a pain in the butt. This one's got a release on the front
And there's
on
only
the
10
side.
rounds.
What's
Boo.
that?
And 10 rounds, boo.
And 10 rounds.
10.
Boo. This is also 10 rounds. But this one, you see these like ribbed for your pleasures on the side here? You pull those, the magazine pops out.
Oh.
So that is a little bit just easier to use. You could do the front thing.
Is that a double helix mag in that thing?
No, it's a single stack mag. Now, does that look like
Okay,
any other
yeah.
mag to you? Does that
Yeah,
look like,
okay, I get it.
Does it look like a 1022 mag? Do you think a 1022
Rotary.
mag would fit in here? And
Oh
work in
my.
here? It will.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Prohibited device.
Oh,
Well, they're only 10 rounders. So
10 round
no
capacity.
worries there. So it will take the Ruger 1022 mags. It can eject the mag at like any angle, which is something again the 1022 doesn't do. It's got a bolt hold open right here, which is a little bit easier to use than the Ruger, and it will slingshot the bolt forward as well, which again the Ruger doesn't.
Without having to Dremel the plate inside the trigger group, like
which
with
is
the
a
regular
pretty quick
1022.
thing to do, but it's it's another thing. And with the factory mag, it will actually lock open on the last shot. So
Will it? Does it lock the bolt back, or is it just being held by the follower?
Locks it back. And then you put a new mag in and drop it, or I think there's a button on here somewhere that'll drop the bolt. Yeah,
Fancy.
There's a bolt on this side here, or sorry, a hold, and you can just press that, and that will drop the bolt. So, a couple of interesting. Now it's also got a peep rear here in just the right spot. I really like the sights there, the irons. And the takedown is pretty fantastic. So with the Ruger and with most of the 22s, the takedown is like there's a couple of Allen bolts. You got to take a couple of pins or whatever. With this one, you push in a red button at the back there, pull down on the trigger group, and out she comes. And there is all your guts. Now, this is kind of cool. It's got a rotating charging handle. That's so it gets clear of that port. A couple things I noticed when I took this thing apart. This is all plastic, metal barrel. Everything else is plastic on this thing.
That sounds almost like another rifle that I remember owning. Something nylon 60.
I thought it was like the nylon 66. Metal barrel, plastic, everything. Not even the sides are metal on this thing. It's just all plastic. This thing's 4 pounds, under 4 pounds, with a mag in it. So it's quite light, and it does that with a barrel that's not like a pencil barrel or anything like that. A light barrel, but not pencil.
That thing's about the size of a 597's barrel or so.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's the beauty of a 22 caliber bore. It's like you don't need a lot of metal to have a bull barrel.
Yeah. Now, this is where a lot of the weight savings and cost savings comes with this thing as well. It's almost all plastic on the bottom here. There's that mag release that we're looking at before, and when you look at it outside of the gun, you're like, oh, that's flimsy. Oh my God, that's a flimsy piece of plastic there. It's just this tiny little O that's sitting in here, and you see plastic just all over the show. So, is the durability going to be there? I don't know. And then the other thing, there's no metal over there. Even this part here is plastic, and it's running on a single metal guide rod that goes to the back that goes into plastic. So I'm not sure how the long-term reliability or long-term durability will be with this thing. I would imagine if you used and abused it a little bit, it probably wouldn't last. It probably wouldn't take a heck of a lot of abuse. It does have a couple of really neat features though. Look at this.
Just 3D print a replacement part if something breaks, if it's all just plastic.
It's got an Allen key inside here, the one that you need. It's right there. Isn't that cool? There's a couple of features on this. You're like, man, that's clever. Why didn't they do that on all these other? Just to take the bolt out and get to it to cleaning, super duper easy. And all these other little features are really, really interesting. I'm a little bit worried that accuracy is not going to be as good as some of the other 1022s and 22s just because of this. This can't possibly be precision enough to rail off the shots and be reliable.
See,
that kind of thing.
With something like an AR, you had to have the barrel, and you had to have the bolt, and you had to have the free float. But with a 22, it's blowback. So ammo consistency and then the barrel is isn't it?
Well, I mean, the parts that I'd be worried about is just how precisely is that bolt getting back into the barrel. With an AR, the bolt rotates into the barrel, so the barrel extension. So that's not really a lot that can go wrong there. That's pretty easy. Whereas with this, it's this is this chunk of plastic that's being held in by this plastic doohickey in the back that's fitting into a plastic hole over there.
Technical thing.
Yeah, that's all that's maintaining those tolerances. So I imagine if it got worn down a little bit, there'd be a possibility of this dealie moving inside that hole for it. Oh, there we
Like I
go.
said, just
Look at that.
take a
There's
3D
sear hole.
printer and whatever's worn down, just 3D print a new one. It's all
You know, what'd be
plastic
cool
anyway.
is if they offered a replacement part. Oh, I thought the hammer or at least the hammer was going to be steel on this thing, but I just noticed that it's striker. That's a striker right there,
Huh.
and that's the sear on it. So if I pull this thing, I bet you it's just going to go forward. Yeah, there we go. So
And you just broke your firing pin.
actually, you know what this reminds me of? This is just like the Browning SA-22, the double spring with the locking right there, and this compacts. Like this is just like the Norinco one as well, the SA-22 or whatever, the Norinco JW-22, that where it's got the sear and it's got the striker on the back there. Very similar, except this has got like mag fed. Really nice magazine drop, even though it looks cheap. So, like, I think this is a really, really cool design made with really, really cheap components. Might work out though. Might be really good. I really like the weight. 4 pounds, even 4 pounds. That's a very nice light semi-auto 22.
That's so neat. So neat.
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, and then like if you were to mount and remount like a scope on this thing, this is plastic you're mounting on. So that like if you're gonna beat it up or something like that, that's not gonna last, but probably be fine. I would be curious just to use the iron sights because that peep actually gives you a pretty long sight radius.
Yep.
And I get good accuracy out of peeps. Like out of a long sight radius peep, like an M1 or an M14 or something like that, I get decent accuracy out of them. And I feel like I would just with the irons on this as well. So I might just be...
How's your accuracy through a few marshmallow peeps?
God damn it.
I don't know. I guess that's...
I guess that's it. Well, no, you had reviewed something else, didn't you? Your charging handle's in the way.
Yeah, good point. Boop.
Yeah.
Gotta rotate it up. Get it in there. A bullpup shotgun. Yes. I think I talked about that on this show here. I went
dude,
for,
it's been a while.
Yeah, well, I couldn't get out to the range, and then COVID happened, and then like
COVID.
Yeah, there's been so many things in the way of trying to get a gun review done. So I'm happy to have it all done. Actually, our ranges here are opened up, so I can go to the range anytime I want to. No booking or anything like that.
Mine never shut down.
And we're doing matches as well. There was a 3-gun match this last weekend, and I've got Maple Seeds coming up this weekend as well. So
yeah, the steel Wednesday night steel challenge is back on my range. Not that I'd do it, but it's back up.
See how fast that was to put back in? As soon as I stopped digging
that's slick, man. That's
Kromer,
slick.
your range does IDPA. Do all the geriatric people in IDPA back at it?
That's a 10-4. I mean, they can't go anywhere else.
Have you tried shooting IDP at your club?
No.
Oh,
Don't have the time. I don't have the time to do that. I mean, I got away last week, and I did my. That's the guess. Are you done, Adriel?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I did for my. What did I do in guns this week? I went and I shot my gun. Pistol day. It was a success. Let me show you my. I shot a lot of bullets actually. I shot all of these. Fuck you. Where are you? Share screen. Share screen. Application window. Clack, share. Bingo. I shot all of those. I shot a lot. Shot a lot of different things. A lot of things that were similar, a lot of things that were different.
So is the shorter revolver the Arminius that you got?
That, kind sir, is not an Arminius. That is a Pieta single action army clone.
No, not that one. The other one. The other shorter one.
Oh, that's a. I guess you know what? My mistake. I confused it. That's an Alpha Proj.
Oh, right. That was which one?
5 or something like that.
That was the one you got to use for the course, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That I still have to figure out how to fucking disable it because I have to remove the transfer bar somehow. So I need to go into the guts and tear it apart. So that's unfortunate because that's gonna be literally the hardest one to disable. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that because I had to disable the Remington fucking 742, and let me tell you what, that's a shitty design. What's
when
cool?
are you able to start offering courses again?
I can do courses already.
Okay.
I can.
Are you doing any soon?
I
got people I need to send to you.
I could. Literally, the only thing that I have left to do is I need to kill a pile of these guns semi-permanently or permanently, and call up the Hunters Association and pick up the kits, and away I go. And I need to figure out if I'm going to do it in my basement or not. Because
so
I'll
schedule in an appointment for you in 2 weeks, and that'll motivate you to get this stuff going.
You might not be that far off from reality, honestly.
That's what I would do to myself.
Last minute preparations. Do it.
Well, there really isn't, because, for example, with this piece of shit 357, I literally need to cock that hammer, drive out a pin, and that takes out the firing pin from that hammer. So that's super convenient. With the piece of shit Tokarev, which is 9mm, by the way, and whose mags are pretty much made by actually, you can probably see a mag sitting around here somewhere. Where are you? There they are. See those slight, the magazine release cuts? Those ones were cut with a file, I'm pretty sure, and not a very sharp. It looks
like it was cut with a bastard file.
Yeah, it definitely was, probably. And
probably.
It does not. I'm pretty sure the follower and the nose of the bullets hangs up on that fucking rough edges inside of the magazine, and that thing is a piece of crap. It does not feed a whole mag without.
This is because you get the Tokarev
chamber,
Pistola Tokareva in 30 fucking fascist caliber of 9mm, and not glorious Soviet caliber of 7.62mm, like you're supposed to.
I took mine out the other 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I ran 200 rounds through it until it was too hot to hold. I just kept loading and firing and loading and firing.
Woo!
And it did fine until the very last round of the 200, where it tried to put the empty back and it got it underneath the feed lips, which was kind of a weird.
Wow, that's a hell of a malfunction.
It ran the rest of it fine, but yeah, for whatever reason, it tried.
Yeah,
to do that.
So what that Tokarev does, that's fucking weird, is it doesn't eject the round out of the chamber. It doesn't eject the case out of the chamber, and then it tries to load another round, but it only gets about halfway in. But when you pull the slide back, the round has cleared the feed lip, so it just sits in the action. So when you dump the magazine, a fresh round falls out, and then you rack the slide, and then the casing does come out. So I don't know. I don't know what's doing that, because I look at the chamber.
Extractor might be fuckle a little bit.
Does it extract? I thought you said or does it fail to eject? Fail to extract or fail to eject? Which one is it? It sounds like it's extracting it. So if your last round is slide back, empty case sitting on top of the magazine, that's fail to eject.
It's failing to extract, I think.
So it stays in the chamber.
Yeah.
Slide comes back. You might get a double feed if the next round wants to go in and it hits the back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's extractor. You could pull it out. How badly greased up was it? Did you get into the extractor and all that kind of stuff?
No.
No? Was it really greasy when you got it?
No, not really.
I mean, I rust in there or something.
It might. I mean, the thing about it is that little nub on the top of the slide right next to the extractor is not a loaded chamber indicator. It's just a pin holding the extractor in place.
Mm-hmm.
So I could drift it out and see what the extractor is doing or not doing.
Clean up the spring, check the extractor.
At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, because I'm going to pull the firing pin plate out of the back of the slide, take the firing link pin down to that's a stud, and then never use that gun again. Yeah.
Might want to.
Oddly enough, sitting next to it is my most expensive handgun. It's that
It looks kind of short. Can you put some sort of barrel extension on that?
I think you might be onto something, and now it officially has a longer barrel than the 8-inch barrel 357 sitting 2 guns over.
That also looks kind of inadequate.
I know there's a 10-inch barrel one that I think I want, but I really shouldn't because that would be responsible of me. But yes, I oddly enough, the 38 special loads that I have built for that 357, I shot in the single action army, and they hit about 2 to 3 inches lower than the sights on the 357 single action army. So I don't know what that means because they're bang on with the double action 686. So it's like
means don't buy a Pieta.
it could be. I mean, I don't know. I never got a chance to shoot many, if any, 357 loads out of the single action army. And the grip on that thing, like, it's so fucking antiquated and awkward to, like, you have to work the hammer, and it feels real cowboy, but the fucking grip on that thing, it's just, it's narrow.
Just like Samuel Colt intended.
It's like it.
Did you spin it on your finger before you shot? Because if you didn't do that, that's probably why it felt weird.
Excuse me, sir. Have you ever feathered the fucking hammer on a single action army? Because you can play cowboy with that bitch like that. You just hold the trigger down and you go bloop, 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 and you're done the cylinder, and it's fucking cool. But it's the fact that the fucking grip is so narrow at the top, the trigger guard is so small, and it's got a really fat butt. So your hand is literally nowhere comfortable to sit.
That butt thick?
It's extra thick. It's almost as bad as the original fucking factory grips on the 686, and that thing's got a fucking fat ass.
For no reason.
Yeah, it's just old fuddy ass, literally. But that was what I did with guns, basically. And then we come to the reason this show is named Road to Bambi. It's because I want to put this here 30-06 to good use.
Gonna waste so much meat with that large, devastating caliber.
No, 30-06 is the only caliber you need to hunt anything because the only thing you ever hunt is deer.
Well, I'm showing you. This is really the finest deer hunting rifle available to Canadians today.
I seem to recall a certain text message going, "Hey, can I have that fucking flash hider? Because the brake on this thing is fucking loud."
Yeah. But the plus side is, if the bullet didn't kill the deer, the shockwave there would have like ruptured its eardrums, so it would have been really, really confused.
Disoriented.
Yeah.
Discombobulated.
It's like throwing a flashbang at it. And then with 9 extra rounds in the mag, he's going down for sure.
And his buddies.
Volume.
Yeah.
You only need one.
Herd hunting.
Why do you need a 30-round clip to kill a deer? Y'all only need one shot.
Well, I am strongly suspecting I will be definitely doing a lot of load development with this until I find the obscene enough amount of grainage that I need to just put clover leaves out of this stupid gun.
What kind of bullet are you going to go for? Are you going to do like a copper? Are you going to do a traditional cup and core?
I think I'm going to try to make a Bernicke slug, but in 30-06. just custom order a solid block of your depleted uranium and just fucking.
I love it, but
poke holes through 3 trees and 2 deer.
I love it, but really, just go to your local outdoor store, buy the cheapest box of Federal, put it in there, and then just shoot a deer with it. It's probably the best way to do it.
It's tempting, except for the fact that I have 100 pieces of brass, 50. Actually, they're sitting right here. 50 of which are already loaded with gallery loads for 30-06. If that's even a fucking thing with 30-06, it's basically Garand loads. It's, I think, 45 grains of Varget.
Yeah, it means nothing to me.
Basically, the loadings for 30-06 with Varget start at like 50. so it's downloaded.
So, with 30-06, you can get like a 150 going pretty quick. You can get a 165 going pretty quick.
Those are Scampro's 147 green and full metal jacket boat tails, which I'm not gonna use to hunt deer with.
No.
But I can get damn near the same fucking thing off of the Hornady or Sierra or
Remington Corlocked.
Remington
Yeah,
Corlock.
that's my suggestion. That's what my 30
If you're
odd
gonna
six
eat
love.
the ribs, don't go with a cup and core because the lead's gonna be all over the show. If you want to eat right up to the hole, get a pure copper bullet. And if you don't care about eating the ribs, but you want your bullet to have like a ton of penetration and maybe go with like a lighter weight one, you go with like a bonded bullet and just get a little bit more penetration and also schwack the heck out of the deer, right?
What's this like shooting the rib cage? Fucking headshot that bitch. Like,
just
what the fuck?
decapitate the. Actually, I was gonna say get a 50-cal and decapitate the whole fucking forest,
No, you
but
can't.
you can't anymore.
No more using anti-material rifles.
You can't
Deer
use
hunt.
50 cal. Yeah, there's no more of that. 338 Lapua is fine.
Yeah, 330 at Lepu is fine. Just
For now.
No, what's that? That 460 Weatherby.
no,
Can't
that's
use
no good.
anymore?
The
No.
458 Che Tag's also out.
Yeah. I mean, those are prime deer rounds. At what do those probably run? $20 a bullet. Perfect.
Yeah, but you only got to shoot once, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, 416
Half the
Weatherby
cost.
was a legitimate hunting round, and it is now banned.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so is the Ruger #1 that fires it. Yeah. No, I mean, like, so back to your Bambi hunting there. Like, yeah, you could just go to Cabela's and just use whatever they got.
Core
That's
locks,
cheap.
man.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but see, I
if
need
it's-
to make this an excuse to go out to the range more, so I obviously need to do load development for it.
If you're going to do load development, maybe look to a mid-weight just to get a little
Yeah,
bit
go
more
165.
penetration.
Like, look, I'm
Yeah,
looking at like I
165,
look
yeah.
at the I look at the reloading manual, and it's hilarious. Like the lowest fucking load that you can find. I'm gonna pull it out right now.
What a 110,
It's something.
maybe?
Yeah, something like that. It's absurd. Like you
So
could
they
put a
actually
110 in
Cal is
this.
flexible.
So they used to have
30
a 30
is
caliber.
flexible. You get so much fucking room in the case. It's ridiculous. Like people don't realize the size difference between. Like they always think it's like, oh, it's just like a shortened like 308 is just shortened 30-06. Like no, they lopped off a chunk
Mhm.
of a fucking 308 30-06 to make 308.
Yeah.
It is dumb. It is absurd. Where are you? 30-06 Springfield. There you go.
But like a reasonable thing to run. would be like
110
165.
grain is the starting fucking projectile.
Well, yeah, because in 30 cal they used to sell varmint rounds that were a like 22 caliber bullet in a 30 caliber sabot.
Yep.
And they don't anymore because now there's a bunch of jurisdictions that just don't let you hunt 30 cal for fucking varmint anymore, regardless. But that's what that used to be. 30 cal varmint loads was just a 22 bullet wrapped in fucking plastic.
And
back
if
in
I
the
remember
day,
correctly,
you only have one
like,
rifle,
those things.
right? You
Yeah.
wouldn't have a lot of rifles, so you need your 30-06 to do deer, moose, coyotes, everything. So that's why they've got like those.
And if
Sable
I want to
rounds.
put the herd out there, I can get a 220 grain slug.
Yep.
Good penetration.
He just keeps going and going and going.
Where are you
and
hunting?
going.
Like, what's your? Are you pushing bush? Are you
He's
just
doing,
sitting
he's
out
doing
at
deer
100?
like close up. Like anything
Oh.
will do it. Anything.
Yeah,
Even that
literally.
110.
Just go buy these. Go buy that. They go on sale for $17 a box. You can shoot a lot of deer with that.
Fuck, you can even get Barnaul soft points that cost less than $1 a shot when they're not on sale.
See, all of that is reasonable and practical, which does not
That's
apply to me.
Yeah, that's not the
That's not
reason you
me.
bought this gun.
No.
Yeah.
That-
See, look, dead deer right there.
See, I've been wondering why can't I just take one of these and like grab a file and just lop off the jacket off the front of it, and you're good to go.
I mean, I've heard of some dudes
More
doing
of a
that, but
cartridge.
I haven't fucked with it.
Carve X's in the front is what I saw.
Is it
in,
fully jacketed on the back too?
I don't know. Let me see.
because if the back of the bullet isn't jacketed, then isn't it supposed to like spray the lead out?
Oh, where the
And then
fuck are
really
my fucking
fucking
bullets?
It might unlock the core from.
I don't know where
from
my
the
bullets are,
jacket.
but it's Scan Pros. I
But
think it's a Full Metal Jacket boattail.
Then cut it off.
I mean, Campro's pistols
Make
are
sure the
total
X-
jacket, but yeah, I mean, the other thing you can do is just load it backwards, and then you've got the lead facing the animal already when you fire it.
I like it. Like, I mean, inside 100 yards where you're going to be shooting.
No, it's what the fuck is it?
Devastator.
No, it's a semi wad cutter. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's more the important thing is to just figure out where you're.
Perfectly circular holes on the deer.
I like it. Just do headshots or shoot in the neck. Then you don't have to worry about smashing up the ribs. Which brings me back to another point. Adriel, you actually like take the meat off the ribs?
No, I don't. I shoot them in the ribs or the face or wherever.
Yeah.
You know, if they're somewhere where I don't want them to go anywhere, I punch the front shoulders.
Yeah,
They'll
then they
go
can't
through
walk.
there. It obliterates everything in the middle. They drop down. They do a nose pile thing for a little bit, and they're at most. They never go anywhere though. You punch the front shoulders, they're toast right there.
Yeah, I was hunting with the buddy, and we shot one, and it was a lot closer than he thought, and he's like, "Oh, that's 100." I'm like, "Man, that's like 50 yards out." He's like, "Well, I'll aim low." I'm like, "Man, it's real close," and he shot it like right through the spine, just behind the front legs, and that thing let out a sound like Chewbacca. And it was just scream like I'm just like, oh my god, this is the cruelty to animal. This deer, like, it took me 2 minutes to get over to it because of like the little fence that I had to go through to get to it. And it's just screaming this whole time. I'm like, how is this thing still screaming? Fucker tries to bite me when I go to slit its throat. Like,
god damn.
He got it up high on the spine there.
Yeah,
weird. Usually you get them there and then they flop over and that's it.
No, this one. He fucking tried to bite me, man. He wanted to live.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping
Also,
that's not what happens to me.
This not an ideal knife to go and take to cut a deer's throat.
That looks sharp.
It is sharp as fuck,
just not pointy.
It doesn't really have the depth to get in there. And cut him off.
You
gotta like the deer's neck is thick. You gotta get in there.
Oh, I did. I just kept going, like, because these are just scalpel blades on there. By the way, buy one of these if you're deer hunting. Great.
Yeah, skinning is those are fantastic.
Oh yeah, because the thing is, my blade's done. You buy a box of like 100 blades, and then you hit a bone. It's a little bit dull.
Let people know what kind of knife that is.
This is a gamekeeper knife.
A gamekeeper. Havilon does those too, right?
Yeah. Gamekeeper's just probably the cheaper brand.
The razor blade's a razor blade.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like they sell their blades. It's like $19 for 5 of them, and I just went online and bought. My wife actually brought me some home from work, and then I just bought
take like a Gillette razor and fucking.
A safety razor you'd think would work good, but not as sharp as a surgical scalpel.
You know, some of the real old guys that I hunt with use like a box cutter because they're sharp.
Why not? It works. Like,
but it's like so nasty. They get like all gored up and like it's you use that to cut like I don't know some nasty like farm stuff like a tractor rad hose. And now he's in there like giving this deer the gears and getting grease all over your guts. Yeah,
it's fine. Like I mean, wash your hands before you eat your sandwich too, or what? Like
gotta live a little. Can't be too clean.
Yeah. Well, that's why all you millennials dying from COVID.
So just like one of these, right? Just got one of these things.
There's about 3 blades left on it. Better break off one so I get a little bit fresher cut.
Yeah.
Watch your eyes.
Oh, okay. That's enough cackling from me. The thing that I did want to bring up is it's awesome that I want to do this. It's so not intuitive because as a zero experienced person. I knew at least that I needed a gun that much, or a bow, or a crossbow. And I knew that there was something nebulous with a label hunting license above it. But then everything, the details, there is a PDF file, thankfully, that says 2020 Alberta hunting regulations or Alberta hunting draws or Alberta hunting document, whatever. And I have this document and I'm reading through it. And then I shit you not, there's a fucking flow chart with 15 steps about how you get to hunting. So
They
I
got
did.
hunter safety in Alberta.
Yes, I did that. I got my hunter safety course done. 97%, I should say, which is not that impressive considering it's open book.
Did you make sure to answer the best way to clear the chamber was to point your rifle in the air and pull the trigger until it stops making noise? Because that's
No.
on the Manitoba one.
No, but
Wow.
in the online manual or the textbook, there is no right or wrong answer. Would you shoot a duck that is floating in the water? And I said,
Yes,
No,
yeah.
absolutely.
you do not,
Light 'em up.
because that is not allowable according to the federal waterfowl regulations.
Yeah,
Light 'em up.
but this was like literally like the first slide in when they're talking about ethics. It's like ethics are like what the morally upstanding person would do. Would you shoot the dog that's sitting in the water? It's like, yeah. And then they give you the breakdown of how people answered. It's like 1,200 people said no. 90 said yes.
Oh, it's
You're not supposed to shoot them on the roost, but hey, light them up. You're
I
never
was
going to
like-
have an easier shot at a duck than when he's sitting on the water.
Apparently, I'm not. Apparently, my moral compass is not aligned with the majority of the people that go hunting waterfowl. But now I know you apparently are not allowed to shoot anything that is swimming.
It was coming right for you, though.
It might have been, but yeah. So that has been made very apparent to me by the training, which is good, I suppose. That's getting the message through. But then I've hit a roadblock because I have my hunter education done. It took a bit for me to get the number that is associated with the certificate, with the hunter ed course.
Your win card, right?
No. There's a number that they give you with the certificate once you pass the hunter ed course.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I knew about the win card existence, but I didn't know what it stood for or why I needed it. And now that I do have it, and I can't even fucking remember what the hell what the win stands for. Oh
Wildlife
god.
identification number.
Yeah. Wildlife identification number. I have that, but then there is a separate thing that you need before you can even look at getting tags, and that's another nebulous thing.
Well, you got to register on Alberta RELM.
Yes, but you need to you get a win number
Mhm.
when you register on that website, but
Yes.
you need to activate it. So you need to pay a fee to activate that number. Additionally, once you have activated your win number, you need a wildlife certificate.
Yes, you can get that on RELM. So once
Yes.
you've got the win number thing, you go on the website. You get a wildlife development certificate, white-tailed deer, game bird if you want to do like grouse and that kind of thing while you're out there as well, and you
Yeah,
can go for
pop,
hunt
pop.
season.
Exactly. Except for the fact that the other nebulous concept is tags and draws. And I still am unsure about what it is that the draw is and what you need to make sure you get your you get entered into the draws that you want. Because I was talking with somebody that does a bit of hunting that I know, and he said you don't need to actually get into any of those draws. You can just get a general whitetail license.
Yeah.
You don't need to do a draw. If you want to be like, you know what? Maybe sometime in the future I want to hunt something weird. maybe what you can do is put in a draw for nothing. Just be like, I don't want anything this year. I just want to be bumped up in priority for the next year. You
Bingo.
can do that. That's a thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
every year you move up on those draws, right? So
And that's what he was
So that's-
explaining to me.
That's
He
interesting,
never.
and I don't think Ontario does that.
Yeah, see, that's what he was.
yeah,
trying
they
to explain
do.
to
They
me.
absolutely do.
Well,
Priority.
they have the draws, but I don't think they have the priority listing.
Yeah, because they don't want the same people getting it every time. So if you go in this year and don't get it, so next year you get more percentage chance of winning.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who just got it goes back. Not to say, because I've had lots of friends that their first year going, like Manitoba's got 7 ranks of priority, and people with rank 7 have gotten in on the draw. So
Well, they
See, I've
they
never-
could've-
I've
they could've
never-
went for a place that was underserved as well. Like it depends on the place. Like,
well, yeah, but that
See,
matters.
I've never heard of that in Ontario, and I know for like the larger things like moose and stuff like that, they really just do not do anything like that. They have just limited numbers of fucking tags, and they just tell you to fuck yourself if you don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no.
Sure.
Here in Alberta, for example, the example he was giving me was antlerless moose at CFB Wainwright. He has put in for that. He has attempted to get that tag for 4 years now, and on the third year, he had like a 70% chance
Mhm.
of getting it. But now that he didn't get it last year, on this fourth year, he's guaranteed to get it. So he's gonna have an antlerless moose tag this year. If you wanted an antlered moose tag, you need to have done it basically for 7 years. You need to have had the maximum priority before you even have a reasonable chance of getting that tag.
Yeah.
So what he said to me was, don't worry about it. If you want to start building priority, go throw your name out there and put in for everything. You put in for your moose, you put in for your elk, antlerless, wherever, whenever you want.
Do you guys have to pay your tags in advance to do that, though?
You paid for
you
the
have to pay
draw.
for a draw fee. It's
Yeah.
like $5 or something like that. Like
$3.95 or something.
Yeah.
Manitoba
just-
pay for the full tag in advance.
Even if you don't get it.
Well, you get that refunded back, but you
Oh,
have
okay.
to pay to be put into the draw. They're just
Like-
soaking you for some holding money.
Just to keep it simple, like if this is your first year big game hunting, I would get the general whitetail. I would get game birds so you can do grouse at the same time. Get your wildlife certificate, and that's it. Keep it
Yep.
simple because the grouse are fun. If you see rabbit or grouse or something like that, if you got a 22 or a folding shotgun like you're showing there, those are fun. If you see your deer, you get your deer.
Can you shoot wolves in Alberta if you got a whitetail tag?
I have never wolf hunted on non-private property, so I'm not sure what the rules are like on that.
I didn't see-
Manitoba is you just have to have a big game license, hold it, and then you can shoot a wolf.
So yeah, I'm looking through the Ontario regs, and there's nothing about being bumped up in priority for draws in subsequent years if you fail your draw.
Oh, well, that's gay.
There is, however, a guaranteed group size to get a tag, and where the fuck is it? It's something stupid. Yeah, it's for moose. It's 15 to get a guaranteed tag for a bull, or I think it's bull or calf, actually, or bull, not bull or calf, bull or cow. Elk is 4, and the controlled deer draw is 4, and that's when you're guaranteed to get a tag, is if you apply in a group of that many people.
Isn't
many
the
people
Get
controlled
one tag.
Yeah, one tag for that group.
How many people in the group?
For moose, it's 15. For elk, it's 4, and for controlled deer, it's also 4.
But controlled deer is the shooting all the bonus deers on the east side of the province, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. The thing with a controlled deer is you can get up to a maximum of 3 deer tags in a season in Ontario. When you get your whitetail license, you get just a tag for a buck anywhere in the province. You can then apply for antlerless, which will give you a buck or doe. And I believe you have to apply for a specific wildlife management unit. And then you can apply for the controlled hunt, which is basically surplus tags in certain specific WMUs. So you can get a maximum of 3 deer. One thing I know with moose is like everyone tries to apply for moose in like fucking North Bay or some shit, like close to Toronto as they can, and those are the tags that get fucking eaten up. Like everyone's applying for them and no one gets them. If you apply for a moose tag like north of fucking Thunder Bay, you're gonna get it because no one's applying for those tags. But then you have to go north of fucking Thunder Bay to hunt your damn moose.
So for all the people that don't live in the center of the universe, how far of a drive is that?
Thunder Bay is about a 17 to 20 hour drive from Toronto. So you're not driving there, you're flying there. So that's the thing with that is why no one from the fucking GTA goes and applies for like WMU1 Moose. Because that's the thing is as an individual, if you apply for like fucking some WMU that's up like fucking around Muskoka area, you're not getting it as an individual. You can fuck yourself, you're wasting your time for even trying. But if you apply for fucking like WMU 1 through like 10 up near Thunder Bay, yeah, you're a lot more likely to actually get that. But then you got to get up there, and you're not fucking driving that. Like, no one drives that. People will usually fly in, rent a something, and go out.
Sucks.
It's nice. I got everything within an hour drive. So elk.
Where the fuck was the
I do
the
know
gun
hour
requirements?
Hey, Crover, that's one of the other thing you might want to look into. If there's elk in the area that you go hunting, check if they have non-draw elk, because there might be a possibility that you can. It'll be like more than 3 points or more than 6 points. And there might be a possibility that you can actually hunt elk without getting a draw either, which would be nice. If
I would love Crover's first animal to be an elk, and then have to jump into. Okay, now you get to process this.
Yeah, we're off the beaten path right now, so good luck.
Yeah,
So
that's
Ontario.
the worst part about Alberta hunting is it's not like Manitoba. Basically, anywhere you can hunt is all gridded up in mile roads. Like that's basically the longest you'd ever have to go is a full mile to get to a road. Just the way that everything's broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So. Like, oh, big deal. I have to drag this deer, a quarter mile to get to my truck, or I can literally drive my truck right up to it. So there's no like, oh, I got to shoot it and pack it out and all that.
Where I hunt, I drive up my pickup truck right next to the deer. I throw the deer in the back of the pickup truck. I drive it to the garage where I'm going to process it. I have an electric quad winch like mounted in the ceiling with a remote control on it. So I hook up the gambrel and it's like, meh, up it goes.
Fancy, huh?
Yeah.
I use the cherry picker, but I multi-purpose in the garage.
There is a lot of Ontario that's gridded up like that as well, but there's a lot of Ontario, and so not all of it is like that.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting how large that province is.
Yeah. The other thing, I remember a lot of my hunters ed course focused on telling the difference between a deer and an elk, because elk were actually hunted to extinction in Ontario and reintroduced again from Alberta, like about 10, 15 years ago. So when I did my hunter's ed course, they had just started allowing elk in like 6 of our like 100 WMUs. Like, and it's specifically like 6 WMUs. But they were like, if you shoot an elk, you are going to get charged up the ass for poaching. So here is how you determine what is an elk and what is a white-tailed deer.
If it's the biggest deer you've ever seen, it's an elk.
Well, and then if it has a white ass, it's probably a whitetail and not an elk. But there was like a whole lot of like, here's an elk and here's a whitetail. Don't shoot the elk, or you are going to have a very, very bad time with your life for the rest of your entire fucking life, because fuck you. And I don't remember anything about the differences between an elk and a whitetail, other than elk are very big, and if I ever intend to shoot any big game animal, I need to really look up what the fucking elk looks like.
So one of the things I did want to ask you, Adriel, is the draws are done on the 18th, and the big game licenses, which are what I'm guessing the time when the general whitetail tags come out, is that then that's then August? And you said that that's just for anywhere, or do I still have to go and apply to a specific WMU for a general tag?
No, general's good for pretty much anywhere. Different ones will open up at different times. So like the middle of nowhere ones where there's like more deer than people, they'll open up for rifle season early. The other ones where there's lots of people and not so many deer, bow hunting season will open in like September-ish, and then general rifle will be November 1st typically.
Don't you get black powder before? Or?
No, not in Alberta.
No, there is no black. I was reading up on it because I was looking through the 50-page fucking Alberta regulation document trying to understand this thing, and they have obviously the archery ones, but there is no stipulations for black powder, except you need to have at least a 44 caliber black powder firearm to hunt in Alberta, I think.
It's interesting because there's actually no caliber restrictions whatsoever on anything rifle related in Ontario. The only caliber restrictions are for shotguns, and you need at least a 20 gauge.
They don't let you shoot anything bigger than a 10 gauge here, and you can't shoot anything smaller than 22.
In Alberta, though, don't they have certain in Ontario, isn't it certain municipalities have certain calibers you can't use?
So yes, there are municipal caliber restrictions, and that depends municipality by municipality. It's not actually in the hunting regs.
Yeah.
The one thing that's in the hunting regs is there is a limit on small game hunting in a listed number of municipalities where you can only hunt small game with calibers less than 275, which 270, despite being 277, is allowed because it's called 270. But there's like a listed list of municipalities, but that only applies
270 for some rabbits.
But that only applies to small game, which actually coyote is small game, and that's what most people will be using it for. But a lot of people misinterpret this to think that it means you cannot hunt with a 30 cal for deer in those municipalities, and that's not correct. You can hunt large game with it, and a lot of people, I don't know where the fuck they got this idea, think you cannot hunt with a 30 cal south of the French and Mattawa rivers. The French and Mattawa rivers are at fucking North Bay. You can definitely hunt with a 30 cal south of fucking North Bay. People do it all up in fucking Simcoe, an hour and a half from Toronto, all the fucking time. This FUD lore about you can't shoot a 30 south of the French and Mattawa is bullshit.
You tell them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many fucking times I heard this, and then I was like curious where the hell these rivers were, and when I realized like they're in North Bay and Sudbury, which is 4 hours north of Toronto, I'm like, no, this is a load of horse shit.
Okay, so what I think I will do is I will tell my buddy that he put in for a couple of WMUs near Calgary and Kananaskis and a little bit south for antlerless and antlered mule deer and whitetail. So I will just apply in that, just so that in case we both get it, we both go hunting there. So, and then I'm going to wait.
Add him he could add you in his group potentially as well.
Yeah, so, don't you just have to sign his license? Is that how it works in Alberta? Or no?
There's something you can do on Alberta RELM when you apply for the draw.
Yes, he said that. Obviously, I didn't have my shit when he did his application at the end of May. So now we might be able to do that. And then I'll just wait for August 1st for the big game hunting licenses to come out, and hopefully
go whack a Bambi.
Yeah. Go whack a Bambi. Road to Bambi. Next episode will be on August 1st.
In Ontario, I know that you get like a group. Apparently, you get a group number when you apply in a group draw, and every member of the group has to list the group number when they apply for the whatever the hell, so that they know who's in the same group.
Yeah.
But like, the only thing you need to apply for that is if you're intending to hunt, like if you want to shoot a doe or if you want to shoot more than one deer. Because if your general whitetail tag applies to any whitetail anywhere in the province, unless you're planning to shoot 2 of them, you don't need to apply for that draw.
Well, 2 of them that you're telling them about.
Well, we would never shoot more than what we tell them about.
No, that wouldn't.
No, not here.
But there is a bit of regulation that it says that if you get one of those special draw licenses, then you cannot hold another tag for that same species. Is that something you've heard, Adriel?
Yeah. What? Like you can't.
So if you get one of the specialty tags, you can't have another tag for that same species.
Maybe, I don't know. Like, because I've had both whitetail and whitetail supplementals. Like some years back in the day, I would have like 3 whitetail tags. They just go like they basically had like a open run on them.
Yeah, but what he's saying is if you get one where you can hunt, like say an antlered elk, you can't get an unantlered one or an elk in a different WMU.
You might not be able to get 2 draws at the same time for the same animal, but like you might be able to get your general elk and your draw elk. And
For a specific WMU.
Yeah,
I would imagine that you couldn't. Because then, I mean, like that's 2 elk in a year when they're having to draw for it, right? If you can go and hunt in that draw.
One of them's a general, right?
Yeah.
If you get your general tag and that's applicable in a certain WMU, and you get a draw also for that WMU, that might be something.
See,
that's
I know
possible.
the way it works in Ontario is when you get your whitetail, it's applicable for any deer anywhere in the province. When you
Same
apply
here.
then for the antlerless
Yeah.
draw, you get an additional tag that's valid for any deer. So the general tag that you get with your license when you apply for a deer license is for any buck in the province. When you apply for antlerless, that's valid for any deer, antlered or antlerless, in the WMU you have applied for. And then when you apply for a surplus tag, I believe that's only again for a buck in that particular WMU. So you can get potentially up to 3 deer, and 2 of them have to be in specific WMUs, but one of them can be anywhere in the province.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
See,
if
this
your
is why I
your
wanted to do this
general is,
episode. It's like, there's a lot of fucking shit to try and figure out, especially on your own. Like
I'm
I
surprised
said,
that
it's a
your general is
52-page
is a
document.
buck and not a buck or a doe, because usually your
Yeah.
general is just like either.
Yeah,
No,
I
the
get,
general
that's
is
probably
buck
something
only.
that's year to year, right?
Yeah.
Because in Manitoba, some years it's buck and doe. Sometimes it's buck only.
In Ontario, I've never heard of it being buck and doe. The doe is always a draw. In Ontario, buck is always the general one.
Yeah.
So
Don't
I
matter.
don't know. And then I know with the moose tag, you can apply, like I said, you can apply in the draw. When you buy the moose license, you apply in the draw for a full size moose, but your moose license grants you the ability to shoot a calf anywhere in the province. But most people don't because like the calf's not got much more meat on it than a deer. So
But they're
and
so
it's
tasty.
a bigger pain in the ass.
I just applied for moose draw here in Alberta. I applied for antlerless moose, and I could not get the calf moose as well. So you could only apply for one or the other. You can't apply for both. So maybe
There you
that's
go.
how they'll lock it out. Yeah. So it might be like automatic through our draw system. It might just figure it out.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm guessing. But that's not to say that if you apply for the draw, you can't then. Actually, no, they'll tell you at that point because I think the results come in mid-July. So by August 1st, when the general tags go out, then you would know whether or not you had a tag for the same species that you wanted to get the general tag for.
See, that's really weird because in Ontario you need the deer license to apply for the draw, and the deer license comes with a general tag. So that's
no,
why
not
if
same
you
here.
apply for a draw, you are always going to have tags for 2 deer if you get the draw back, because your deer license comes with a tag for buck anywhere in the province.
Yeah,
and
no,
you
not
need
here. But
that license.
I mean,
in
I
order.
can't speak with that much authority, but I think Adriel and I just both said no. That's not how it works here.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Another thing I know is that
Ontario's stupid.
in most other provinces, you can't hunt crossbow in bow season, but in Ontario, crossbow is valid for bow season.
You can do it here if you're disabled. If you're disabled,
Yeah,
you can use a crossbow instead of a bow.
Yeah, I've heard that, but in Ontario, it's just in general. Crossbow is valid for anyone during bow season, and bow season for like deer is like September to December, like end of December, whereas like the rifle hunt is I think like a week or 2 in November, and I know in some WMUs they'll have a muzzleloader hunt that's an additional 2 weeks long.
Yeah,
So-
no black powder stuff in Alberta.
Yeah,
At least
that-
not
that-
regulated.
That'd
It's
be
just
cool.
part of
That'd be
regular
cool
one.
if there was.
That
It
does
would-
sound
I imagine, can't you just, like you don't get a special season, but if you still wanted to be a badass, you could do black powder in Alberta or.
Yeah, no, you can do it. Like I said, the Hunter Ed course said the only thing regulation-wise regarding hunting and black powder stuff is that you need at least a 44 caliber
Yeah.
projectile.
Yeah.
At least. Or maybe
hard-
it might have been even 54. I'd have to double check. But it might have been
Well, they're
probably
both
44.
standard is,
45.
yeah, most standard ones are 50 cal anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Even the
is-
50 cals, you might sabo them down to a 45. So 44 as a minimum makes sense. 44 as a minimum, sorry, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Just use the rifle.
the only regulation in Ontario for that, like muzzleloader, just says yes. Yes.
Muzzle loader,
Yes for
yes.
moose, elk, and bear. Yes
Well,
for deer.
you know,
and
if you
yes,
really think back
shotgun
to
only
it,
for turkey.
30-06 was designed around the time where they were still quite a lot prevalent muzzleloader firearms. So you know,
That's not no. But I find it funny that you can actually hunt turkey with a muzzle-loading shotgun in Ontario.
fuck yeah,
That'd be
just
neat.
blow their fucking heads off.
For shotgun, it actually says if you're using shot and you want to hunt a moose, elk, or bear or deer, you have to use a 20 gauge, and shot must be size SG or number 1 buck or larger. But if you want to hunt with a slug, you can use a 410 slug to hunt.
Cool.
Turkey?
No, not for turkey. You
game.
can't use a slug for turkey, for big game. For
Yeah.
turkey, you can use a shotgun, but it cannot be larger than 10 gauge, cannot be smaller than 20 gauge, and it must be using shot 4, 5, 6, or 7. And the 7's actually a fairly recent addition to that.
So who'd shoot a turkey with 7? That's just
Yeah,
Who
I
would
don't
shoot
know
a
why.
deer or a moose with a 410 slug. Like the energy on those things are awful.
I mean,
They're
the deer-
barely 1,000
Hey,
The
joules.
deer I can
just
understand, but the
wait
moose, no.
wait till my FX9 deer hunting
But I mean,
rifle.
the
Like,
thing for rifle, the thing for rifle for large game is it just says center fire rifle only. There's no caliber restriction. You can hunt moose with a 17 fireball.
Hell yeah.
22 250 shoots deer
In
all the
Alberta,
time.
we have a 23 caliber restricted, 24.
Yes, 23.
243 and up, basically.
Ontario just says center fire. So
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck was the Colibris caliber? Wasn't it center fire? You could technically hunt a deer with
technically
the
Colibris
rifle
is
and
a center
that.
fire, yeah.
So
Good luck finding.
Yeah,
actually, no, I was
that's-
gonna good luck finding ammo, but most of those come with ammo because they're just
Realistically, I think that the government should just say center fire because people will use what's appropriate, and trying to legislate. For example, here in Alberta, you can't use a 223, and I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't use one. But what if I wanted to? What if I had like some premium bullets? Like I would load up a
Wait,
nice
you mean to
bullet
tell me
line.
that incredible story about that FUD that came into the subreddit that one time and wrote an entire
Yeah,
wall of
That's
text saying,
bad shot. That's bad shot placement. Every
"No,
time
that's
someone-
but what I'm saying is the guy went in blaming the ammunition
Yeah.
when he was at fault every step of the way
Mhm.
in that hunt."
Hey, did no problem with this. 223.
How far were you again?
Like less than 75 yards.
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
which
exactly.
is fine. And I think
Yeah.
that you should be allowed to do that.
Yeah, Manitoba just has a recommended minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no, we don't have any minimum other than just center fire. Handguns are not listed in Ontario's regulations, but I do know some people will bring an antique, like Webley or something, for if a coyote comes to fuck with them.
yeah, why not? If it's
Um,
legal, do it.
And we do have minimums in Ontario for bow and crossbow in terms of length and draw weight.
40
so
pounds,
for
28 inches in Alberta.
so for deer, it's bow is 39.7 pounds and 26.7 inches.
My God,
And
why don't
arrows-
the provinces get to like provinces are so bad at legislating what is the same damn thing in all the provinces? Why are there 10 different styles of hunting regs when there could be one?
Yeah, and then the arrows, they have regulations for the draw weight. Then they have regulations for the arrows. They must be 23.6 inches long and with a broad head of at least 0.87 inches wide, with at least 2 cutting edges. For moose,
In Alberta,
it's-
there's a size for the broadhead, or it literally says a broadhead of this size or a 3-pointer.
That's that. Yeah, this just says minimum of that, but has to be that diameter. For moose, it's a draw weight is up to 48.5 pounds, and then the crossbow has to have a minimum draw length of 11.8 inches, and for deer has to be 99.2 pound minimum, and for moose has to be 119 pound minimum.
Oh,
And like the thing with that, and then no bolt length minimum, but have to have a 0.87 inch broadhead. But like 120 pounds is nothing on a crossbow. Like all the fucking Excaliburs that were like low draw weight when I started into shit were like 285 or something like that. And they're all like, I think the lowest draw weight you can get right now is like 305.
Well, Have we beat the hunting topic to death? Are you gonna
Yep.
apply for any draws? Are you gonna apply for the same draws as your buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Apply
Yeah,
quick
get in
because
there.
you got 2 days.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Figure
I'm
your
pretty much
stuff
gonna do
out.
that tomorrow morning.
Crover loves last minuting shit, so
That's right.
he's
Are there any things you can hunt without the like? I know gophers, but like other things you can hunt without needing like tags in Alberta.
Squirrel.
Tons.
rabbits.
Private property, you could do coyote any time of the year. Squirrel, rabbits, porcupines probably on there.
Manitoba landowners can hunt grouse on their land anytime.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you got to have a grouse license here, even if it's your own land.
See, and how many things do you need a license for? Because in Ontario, you just have small game, and it covers so much shit.
Well, that's kind of what Angel said. Like, if you want
Don't need a small
game,
license.
if you
Yeah.
want like
Other
game
than-
bird, game
yeah.
bird is like
Grouse.
that's basically it. Like, there's a whole bunch of things you can just shoot here in Alberta, and then there's game bird license, and then there's the
Yep.
the furry four-legged animals.
Because with
That are bigger.
Ontario, you get small game, and you need small game to be able to apply for any of the large game licenses or turkey. Turkey actually used to require a entire separate license that you had to go and get
Yeah,
for an
that's
additional
in Manitoba.
$45.
Yeah.
But they've recently added turkey to your basic license. You just need a tag now for it. So you don't
Turkey's
need to
so
get another
garbage. Like in
license.
Manitoba, I'm not spending $45 to go shoot a turkey when I can buy a $20 one at Sobeys. That's big.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with
Just-
Ontario is it's like $40 or something.
There
for a turkey,
is
but I mean like
there is technically turkey here in Alberta in the southeast corner of the province, according to the to the hunter ed course. And speaking from a couple of people, is like that's bullshit. There's no
See,
turkeys in this
There's
the
supposed to
funny
be
thing with
hogs here,
that
too.
is
I never seen it.
Yeah, they
we
say
actually
that
had
in Manitoba, hogs everywhere. Nah.
we actually had our turkey reintroduced to us, I think, from BC and Alberta when we did it back in the day in Ontario, and that's why there was a separate license for turkey.
That's
Is
fake
because it
news.
had been
Fake news.
reintroduced.
That was definitely an American turkey.
Um,
I get
and then
turkeys
now
into
turkeys
my
are fucking
yard.
everywhere.
I live
think
in town and they walk all over town. I'm slowly working them to the backyard where
I
it's
think
my
that
actions are
might
concealed.
be it. A whole bunch of bans happened. Fuck it all.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
There's like 4 current court challenges, and I think 3
Get your
speculative
bolt
court
action
challenges.
shotguns ready to go, boys.
Those might get banned too. They banned a bolt action shotgun.
They sure
They
shit
did.
did.
I know.
Because it's
Look
an
at-
AR-15 variant.
Isn't this look very AR-15 like? But this
Oh,
is why.
safe. Oh,
That's like it's got a
magnetic.
magazine, so that's it's obviously.
The clipazine.
Wait, no. You know what? It's got a bolt. AR-15's a bolt.
So the Dario was just
Look at-
banned today.
That's how it
in
can
case
go.
anyone hadn't heard. Which
Yes,
I'm
it
surprised that Dario wasn't included on the first list, to be honest.
Everybody
but it's-
was because actually no, everybody was when the Typhoons were included because
They're the same, right?
they're the same.
They're the same.
They're
And
the
it's the
same.
same as the AR-15. They're all the same.
Same thing.
Same gun.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
If you have fetal alcohol syndrome, you
We're all the
go hard.
same.
Yeah,
man.
if you got
Same.
dropped in the head a bunch and our name
So,
Bill Blair.
like every actual Canadian gun owner.
All right, let's wrap. this thing up.
I don't know when we'll be back.
Sometime.
There was a big break because I didn't really feel like doing this.
We
That
had
just
nothing to do.
Depressed and sad.
basically
Stuck inside.
It's coming.
we were actually no. I was not really stuck inside. I just did not feel like fucking around with this because like every fucking weekend we were getting in more news that were more bullshit. Like
The
at this
best was
point,
the Friday night bombs. Just something
Yeah.
to stew on over the weekend. Make us feel good.
yep.
And pretty much
We'll be
everything's
back.
being closed here, but I've still been going to a physical location for work half the time.
Brutal.
Yep.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. Crover is going to shoot a deer. He's going to shoot it and then watch his YouTube video on how to field dress it and do it at the same time as he's.
I've already.
LOD
Hey,
can do a
I will
gut
give.
fest.
I will give the Hunter Ed Course credit. They put a video right in there for you to watch how to do field dressing, and it's like they're not like diagrams of shit. It's just some guy out in the woods taking
Do
the
it.
guts out of a deer.
Nice.
Do you like put your gimbal
What
in there,
The what?
have it up,
Gambrel?
gambrel,
No.
put it up in the tree, and then
No, this guy was
All
doing
the
it right in
skin
the woods. He was like, "Oh yeah," and then once you get all the guts out, just use your snow to clean out the inside. Just like takes a handful and just rubs it all in there. And
Love
that's good for those Novembers where there's no snow on the ground at all. Just use leaves. It's good.
Yeah.
If you got urine, it's sterile.
gives it a good flavor, strong flavor,
Yeah, musky.
musky. Fuck it, kill it, Adriel. See you next time, folks.